Hi everybody, this is Oksana and this is the ring we're going to be making in this video. So it's a hexagon stone. A lot of you like this stone from my haul that I did where I showed the stones that I got, and a lot of you wanted to see a tutorial with this one. It's kind of a unique shape being a hexagon, but if you have a marquise shape, I think this design would work as well because it's really similar. It just doesn't have those sharp edges. It's just more rounded. So I think that this design will work with a marquise stone as well. And the size of my stone is just a little bit smaller than an inch. It's about 20 millimeters tall. And my I was gonna say pendants, but in this case it's a ring. My pieces of jewelry that I make in my tutorials, I finish them up, I oxidize them and all that, and I auction them off on the community tab of my YouTube channel. To be able to see the auctions, you have to be a membership, so there's a join button below if you're interested in learning about memberships. But the friend and the insider levels of memberships are the ones that can see and participate in the auctions. So that's where this ring will go. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started making this ring. So for our base wires, we're going to be using round wire. We're going to be using 20 gauge. This is from riogrande.com, and it's copper round wire. And you're just going to need 2 pieces. And the length that I cut here is 11 inches, which should be adequate for pretty much all ring sizes. And then the other wire that we're going to use to make the connection is going to be half round wire in 24 gauge. You can do 24 or 22 gauge, it doesn't matter. And you don't have to do half round wire. You can do only round wire, in which case you would be weaving like a little pattern for the ring band. But I am just going to be wrapping the half round wire around and around, which doesn't work as well with round wire. That's why you'd have to do a pattern if you were to use round wire, but this can be done in all round wire. So what you want to do is you want to hold your wires and you want to kind of grab, not right in the middle, but a little bit off to the side, because it's going to be a bit of length for your ring band. So I'm going to grab myself the wire. It's just connected to the spool, my half round wire, and I'm putting it the flat side down. I have a little end so that I can kind of pinch it between my fingers here and hold it so it stays still. And I'm wrapping it around, but the problem is, because this is connected to the spool, I have to turn the whole piece. So in the beginning, you just kind of have to be careful because there's not a lot of wraps and it can easily get unraveled. But then after you've done it for a little bit, it'll get easier. So, and it kind of goes slowly in the beginning, but then you can go faster. So I'm guiding it with my right hand and my index finger and my thumb here. I'm guiding it so that it goes flat side down, rounded side up, and so that each little wrap lays down next to the previous wrap. And with my left hand, I am turning the whole piece here like this. So I'm right-handed, but if you're left-handed, I think you would do the opposite. Be turning with this hand and guiding with this hand. So I'm just going to do this for a little bit because we want this to be long enough to be the ring band. And I'm going to grab my ring mandrel, and then once I've done this for a while, we're going to bend it around and see what ring size we have. All right, so mine is quite long, as you can see, and the way that you can check if it's long enough is whatever ring size you're making, you would be bending this around your ring mandrel and seeing, you know, how much space is left. So if I wanted to make a size 7, I would have to wrap a little bit more. All right, so when you're done wrapping, I wrapped mine just a little bit more I'm not sure what size this is, but I'm kind of flexible here since it's just a tutorial, but you might not be as flexible because you might need to make like a specific size. So keep measuring it around your ring mandrel. And then when you're done, oops, I went on the wrong side here. You want, oh no, it is the right side. I'm confusing myself. You want your wire end to be on the outside, not the inside of the ring band. So for bending it this way, this is the inside, this is the outside, and you do want a little tail end of wire, so you can either, you know, have the tail end that you started with here, or if that one's really short, leave yourself a tail end on the other side, but you do want a little bit of that half round wire somewhere at whatever end that is most convenient for you. And then because it's half round wire, it works best if you go over it with your pliers and just squish it like I'm doing here. And that's going to give you that flattened kind of look, and it's going to stay together nicely after you do it this way. So now we're going to go ahead and bend this around the ring mandrel to give it that nice rounded shape. And then what you want to do is, let me zoom in a little. You want to bend the wires, like press down on them and bend them up like this. And then you want to do that on the other side as well. And you want them to come together like this. So mine is like a 6.5 probably size ring here. So I'm just gonna zoom back out, remove this from the ring mandrel, and now I'm just going to just try to line that up nicely. You can use your pliers if your band kind of got bend a little bit. So the reason you need this little wire here is you want to take that little wire end and you want to use it to connect the 4 wires together. So just have them lined up so they're not on top of each other but just next to each other like this. So I'm just gonna wrap around just whatever my wire allows, you know, because I don't have a very long end. If you have a longer end, you can obviously wrap it around more times. But for me, I really can just wrap it around maybe twice, and then before I trim this off, to give it a better chance of not unraveling, I'm gonna wrap it around just those 2 wires there on one of the sides, and that really helps it. So if you did round wire earlier instead of half round, you can just do this now with your round wire. All right, so I did that. There's a little wire end. You want the wire end to be on this side because this side is going to get covered up by the stone versus the inside is going to be up against your finger, so you don't want it there. There's like a bird singing outside. I don't know if you can hear that, but people always think I have birds because there's just so many birds here in Australia, and even with my window closed, you can hear them outside. So this is my stone. What I want to do is I want to find how it should be positioned so it's kind of roughly the middle of it is here at the ring band, you know, so it's not like too high or too low. So looking at this, I just need to open up this a little bit more. There we go. All right, so you want to hold it so it's kind of the middle of the stone is, or this flat side, I guess, of your hexagon is at the ring band. And then these wires here, the 2 sets of 2 wires, you just want to bend them onto the stone. So I'm going to bend one at a time, and then I'm just going to adjust my grip and adjust the stone because it might be sliding out. This part is tricky because the stone is not stable right now. So here we go. They're coming through this way. And what you want to do now is you want to put like a, this might be easier to show you without the stone in there, but you want to put like a bend in the wire and then the other wire as well, causing them to do this little like kind of where they cross, like a little knot, I guess. So if we put our stone back in and we take a look at our little knot, just gonna try to adjust it a little bit. There we go. That looks kind of crooked. So you want to push the stone in because the stone is going to want to slide out. So you want to push it in like hard because otherwise it's going to be loose. And then you want to bend these, like once it's symmetrical and everything, you want to bend these wires kind of this way down on these edges so that it's going to look like this from the front. And mine could probably go a little more in this direction because it's looking a little not symmetrical. All right, I think that's better. So the wire ends, what you want to do with those to secure the stone, now it's a little bit secured, not all the way, but you can kind of mess around with it more. So what you want to do with these wire ends, they're easier to work with if they're short, but you don't want them to be too short because then you won't have enough of them to do what you need to do with. So I'm just going to trim them a little bit. And what you want to do is just very carefully work them into the ring band. You don't want to lift it up too much because then your stone is going to not be held by them anymore. So you want to put them through the ring band. And here they are coming through on the other side. So you want to keep this bend where it's going on the edge of the stone. You want to keep that nice and don't let that come loose. And just bring it all the way down here. And it's going to go around your ring band like that. And then before I trim and connect that, I'm going to do the other side because that's going to give me the room if I need to like mess around with anything. If something got moved out of place before I trim and connect everything, I want to make everything symmetrical and back in place. So I put the wires through the ring band. Here they are, and I'm bending them around the band like this. So let me, oh, wrong direction. Let me zoom in here so you can see what's happening. So here they are. So I do need to mess around with it. You can see it got kind of crooked, but here they are, and they're coming through. All right, so what happened here? So this one needs to be tighter. So I'm just gonna get in here with my pliers, and I'm just gonna do my best to get it nice and tight. Let's see, did that help? Helped a little bit. Maybe doing one wire at a time would be helpful too. I'm just tightening it up because I'm trying to get the front of it to be symmetrical. All right, I think that looks better now. So what you want to do here with your little wire ends is, so I'm going to trim them short and then I'll zoom in to show you. So you basically want to hide away those wire ends because you don't want them to poke really in any direction out of the ring. So let me zoom in here. So here they are. And what you want to do is just kind of tuck them in there. And you can do, if you can kind of get in there and do one wire at a time, that might be helpful, or you can just do them both together. But you just want to get in there and just kind of close that loop, so now the wire ends are hidden and you're not going to be able to feel them anywhere, not here on this edge or anything. So it's kind of the goal there. And we're going to do that here on this end. And just tuck that in there. And there we go. Hidden away. Here's what it looks like from the front. So it came out pretty symmetrical from the front. And now the stone is really secure. And let's put this back on our ring band. Just because this could have got a little squished as you were working with it. You can kind of reshape the band itself if it got a little bumpy there. So mine is actually about a 6. So it looked like about a 6.5, but once I added the stone and all that, it became a little smaller, so just keep that in mind. And let's try this on. So here's what it looks like. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this cute little hexagon ring tutorial. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.